4 teams playing for 2 places in the Club World Cup final. We had the UEFA side of the bracket, 2 German sides, a French side, and a Spanish side, and then the international side, which had a team from Asia, 2 from CONMEBOL, and a UEFA side. From that final 4, 3 UEFA sides and 1 lone Brazilian side soldiering on, the mighty Flu. I'm Adrian, thank you for watching this, and let's get previewing. By the way, guys, I have a video coming out on Brazilian clubs coming out tomorrow, I believe, and how they suddenly got a stranglehold over South American football. So be on the lookout for that one on Monday. I collaborated with Chapéu Football, Filippo. It's going to be good. But first, let's talk about Chelsea, who have actually played against 2 Brazilian clubs thus far with varying degrees of success. Well, in saying that, I don't think that their performance against Flamengo and Palmeiras were too dissimilar. Results-wise, yes, obviously very different, but actual performances, not so much. Biggest difference for me was probably the defensive performance of Levi Colwill, who was incredible against Palmeiras. I've seen some people saying that, he defended weakly against Estevão for Palmeiras' goal, but I don't know, man. Sometimes somebody just does something remarkable. If Estevão was crossing, that was likely blocked. Not many strike a goal from there, and he still had a fantastic match in my opinion. Chelsea got through thanks to Palmeiras' keeper Weverton playing dodgeball from a slow deflected strike. Really should never let that in. The deflection happened, yes, he still had so much time to recover though. He just flapped at it weakly, it bounced off of him and in. Embarrassing stuff, Palmeiras forever wondering what could have happened if not for that. That said, they just didn't offer up enough in the attack, and with Chelsea bringing on Madueke, who was quite good, maybe on his way to Arsenal, but still quite good, and especially bringing on João Pedro, it felt like a matter of time before Chelsea scored. So with Chelsea, I feel as though they defend well. I like their midfield of Enzo and Santos against Palmeiras, but Caicedo back in the midfield surely for the next match. I really like how they play, but the attack only started to make sense once João Pedro was out there. A major plus for Chelsea is Palmer finding his form for sure, and I do wonder if João Pedro has jumped over Nicholas Jackson already, who was eligible to play against Palmeiras back from his ban, but didn't see a single minute, and I totally get it. Also, I think in this match, João Pedro showed that he's just much better than just an average player, as we saw so many people saying about his signing. I think it's looking very exciting between him and Palmer in the attack. And I expect JP to start, to be honest, as Delap is suspended, alongside Levi Colwill, which is a huge loss for Chelsea, as Fluminense showed against Al Hilal, that they have some very good attackers, don't they? They got through with a 2-1 win, goals from Martinelli and Hercules, and it was touch and go at the end there, as Kalidou Koulibaly thought that he should have had 2 penalties. The first one, not for me at all. The second instance, I could see that he has a bit more of a case, but my man was flopping on both occasions. He easily could have stayed on his feet, which probably didn't help his case in the eyes of the ref and VAR. But anyway, Fluminense have shown throughout this tournament just how talented they are without the ball, the work they put in out of possession, and the way that they deal with any and all crosses into the box. Also, they switched to a back 5 for their matches against Inter and Al Hilal, and that added solidity for what was already a very strong back line from the group stage. Thiago Silva with a bodyguard on each side of him. It's worked out brilliantly for them, not to mention their pressing, which is what got them the winner against Al Hilal. Kalidou Koulibaly making an aggressive run, they win the ball back in midfield, and within a few touches, they were ahead. Hercules starting to catch fire for Fluminense. He had 1 goal for them prior to this tournament. Now he's scored 2 very important goals. I've also enjoyed watching Martinelli in the midfield, and I think this midfield matchup will be really fun to watch. Not to mention Thiago Silva up against his former side that he helped to win the Champions League. But I think one of the biggest things is just how badly Fluminense want this, and how they are willing to fight, as their coach Renato Gaúcho has highlighted. Other teams have more talented players, they have more assets, but they don't have the dedication that his team has or the willingness to fight for each other. Maybe you saw Thiago Silva's speech from the locker room.
O que eu quero dizer? Não deixa de fazer lá dentro, velho, o que a gente pode fazer agora. Não deixa pra depois porque não dá tempo, velho.
Incredible leader. He also was giving Gaúcho tactics to use. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, man. I think Fluminense can pull this off as they have gained more and more momentum as the time has gone on. I had Chelsea beating Palmeiras, but something about this Fluminense side is special. They weren't even considered the strongest Brazilian side in the competition. Everyone spoke of the other teams having a better chance at advancing. But here they are, dropping opponent after opponent. They're absolutely the special story of this tournament, you know? You get one in every international tournament, whether it be Morocco from the 2022 World Cup or Croatia and their run in 2018. They're going to have to be very, very good, which they have been defensively, as Chelsea haven't really faced a team that plays like this yet. Good defensively, but also very efficient with their chances in the attack. I guess maybe Flamengo, who they fell to, but Fluminense is even better defensively. So, hey, let's see what happens. Should be a good one. Also, for those who are familiar with Neymar's early career at Santos but don't follow Brazilian football, did you see that Ganso is on Fluminense? I completely forgot that he was with them. Then I saw him chilling on the bench. Jump out of seat moment, you know? Nice to see the fella. PSG have continued to impress as they have done all season, well, in international competitions since about December or so, and they haven't looked back. That's not to say that they have been perfect throughout that run. They aren't perfect throughout many of the matches they have won. But they are just so good, they continue to get big result after big result. You have to give a lot of credit to Bayern Munich because their pressing of PSG made things very difficult for them early in that first half. These sides were going shot for shot in the first half. There were moments where Bayern looked like they would win. Donnarumma was forced into one acrobatic save in particular in that first half, which was impressive. Of course, by the way, thoughts with Jamal Musiala after that horrific ankle break that he had. Really nasty stuff and such horrible luck for him, especially if you consider that he had just returned from injury. But back to PSG, their threat as always is there. And it only increased in the second half. Desiree Doué with the low strike past Neuer, who lost his footing a bit. A couple of red cards later, and Ousmane Dembele's strike. And PSG got the 2-0 win over Bayern. Revenge for their match back in November. So the 2 red cards for PSG. The 2 suspended players for the semi-final will be Willian Pacho and Lucas Hernandez. One more of a loss than the other, as William Pacho has been at the center of their defensive success for the entirety of the season, alongside Marquinhos, of course. But the way that he reads the game to break up plays, his knack for blocking strikes, the aerial ability he has for clearances, and even how he contributes to circulating possession for PSG, he's very important to them. The other side of the coin, it's looking more likely that Dembele could start in the attack, and you can see the immediate impact that he has when he steps on the pitch. Not only his goal threat, but nobody else plays like him in how he drops to accept passes from the midfielders in the build-up. The defense is expecting everyone to run in behind like the wingers. Then he drops, has space, and can pick out another runner like a fullback or run into space in the flanks himself, just constantly manipulating the back line, keeping them guessing throughout the entirety of it. Now, as for Real Madrid, they too have been quite good at this tournament. They have really improved as the tournament has gone on under Xabi, and they have become more confident in Xabi's system. They took out Borussia Dortmund, it was close, but they were kind of at a trot for 90% of this game. In that second half, they were just going through the motions, and in the match in general, Borussia Dortmund's attack struggled to get much going at all until the very end. Did you even see Serhou Guirassy out there for most of that match? Did Adeyemi or Brandt contribute much? Not really. Bayer, the only one who was really looking lively when he came on in the second half. He finished off a chance. Then finally, Guirassy won that penalty right at the end and converted it. Sabitzer with the last kick of the game as well, that Thibaut Courtois made an unbelievable save. So it was both aspects. Dortmund playing poorly until the 90th minute, and Real Madrid being very good for the rest of it, and Dortmund only showing up when it was too little too late. When they pushed at the end, they showed they could be effective against Real Madrid's back line. Granted, a greatly changed backline with the substitutions of Trent and Tchouaméni. On top of that, Real Madrid also got a red card at the back. Dean Howson grabbed Guirassy, and the same ref that sent off Asensio against Pachuca sent off Howson. So Asensio is back in the starting 11, you would imagine, and maybe playing with Tchouaméni between himself and Rudiger will help him a bit, not caught out of position as much, less area to worry about, because the defense is indeed an area where I would worry for Real Madrid. 2 players who have not been a worry at all and have been performing for Xabi Alonso are the Garcias, Fran, and Gonzalo. Gonzalo has a goal contribution in every single match at this Club World Cup. Easily the revelation for Real Madrid with how comfortable he has been at the center of the attack for them. And what's impressed me the most with his goals is how he scores them. It's the glancing finish against Dortmund, the scuffed finish against Al Hilal, but it worked. The header against Juve, he drops deep, he can pass, really impressive from him. Fran Garcia, he got a goal against Dortmund, but he's also looked better in general when in possession and has looked up to task with everyone he's had to defend against as well. He's probably making Xabi think, do we need Alvaro Carreras? I'm sure they want the depth. Depth is a good thing. They'll probably go for him anyways, but you catch my meaning. Also, I feel so vindicated in seeing Arda Güler handed the keys in that midfield and the balls that he is playing in for that Garcia goal, for that Mbappe goal. He is a fantastic player, not to mention the strike at goal that he has. Oh, just a fantastic player. The way he gets by people, love to see it. This isn't unique to say, but I'm really looking forward to this match. It's going to be a ton of fun to see how this one goes down, especially since it's Mbappe, who scored a beauty against Dortmund again. Turned out to be the winner in the end, actually. But he'll be up against his former side. Brilliant stuff. And I wonder if he will be starting or if Xabi will stick with what's working so far and bring him on in the second half to really run at Marquinhos and Beraldo when they have some slightly more tired legs. I do worry a bit for Real Madrid's defense up against this PSG side. Namely, Alexander-Arnold coming up against Kvaratskhelia, who was always a massive headache no matter who he's playing against. But he actually got the better of Trent in the Champions League this past season as well. Though Trent has been, to be fair, improving game by game. So we'll see. Plus, with Dembele returning, even though PSG have lost a starting center back as well, just like Real. But with Dembele returning, I think that's just enough to see PSG pass Real Madrid. But, I mean, who cares about a prediction at this point? It feels like a shame to try to predict in this match. Let's just enjoy, All right, guys, we're getting closer to the end of this, eh? I'm really enjoying these matches. The knockout stages have been pretty brilliant for the most part, and I hope you have been enjoying it as well. Thanks, as always, for all of your support. Remember, I'll have a video for you tomorrow on Brazilian clubs. I love ya, and stay safe. Bye.